Hi, this is Luke. Today I'm going to be reviewing the totally wicked e-liquid products which are called the Mega Titan Atomiser and the Mega Titan Cartridge. Okay, now they both go together like this and form the part of the electronic nicotine inhalator that you attach to the battery. So essentially it goes like that. Right. Okay. So a little bit of comparison here. This is a standard size Titan atomizer. Okay, and that is the. I don't know how hard this is going to be to show you, but you can see there. You know, it's about 1 centimeter or half an inch longer than, you know, maybe less than half an inch, but yeah, it's a little bit longer than the atomizer. The actual card itself is also considerably longer than a standard one. Do I have a standard one here? Yep, here's a standard card. Okay, now that's also approximately, you know, 1 centimeter or half an inch longer as well. So you would expect it to be actually 1 inch longer, but it's not. Because the actual cartridge slides in a long way, it actually ends up only being the extra half inch that the atomizer is longer. Anyway, so what I've found over the last week is essentially it operates identically to every other Titan atomizer and cartridge combination that I've had without any modifications done to it. The whole purpose of this is to make allow there to be more liquid in here to make contact with the atomizer here and wet the metal wick that's in here. So by obviously the idea behind it is that more liquid in here means that you can wet this metal mesh for a longer period of time before you have to top up the cartridge again. Okay, problem is a Titan atomizer tends to run really hot and it tends to dry out this section quite quickly. And the other thing that is really the problem, I'll get to that a bit later, is the actual filler itself doesn't seem to do its job properly. Okay, now I've done a whole list, and I've got a little list over here on my screen, and I'm going to basically go through that. So the good size, here's the good size. Okay, the big cartridge can fit 1 mil, so 20 drops or 22 drops of liquid in there. A standard card, you'd probably get about half that. Okay, the performance of the atomizer is identical in every way. There's no, as far as I can tell, there is no difference at all in this atomizer compared to the standard atomizer, except that the barrel itself is longer, just to facilitate this being longer. That's the only reason. Okay. And I don't know if it's just me or it's the fact that there is more cartridge filler in here, but I seem to get less liquid in my mouth than I did before. And in fact, I don't think I've got any liquid in my mouth since using this. So that's really good. And so for someone who is someone who likes Titans with cards, standard cards, you're going to really love this product because it means that you've got a bigger cartridge that's going to give you more time before you have to refill it. Now, some people have said it lasts for 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Some people have said up to 5 hours. Me personally, I can't get anywhere near that. Now, I've always had a problem with the cartridges on any device, not just Titans, but even 901s. There's only one particular type of cartridge that I haven't had problems with, and that's the type of cartridges that came with my screwdriver Mark II. For some reason they're just different to all the other ones I've had, and they just work really well. Anyway, so cons, the against. Okay, so it unevenly distributes the juice throughout the actual filler. So right now, this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually quite dry. And if I vape that for a couple of draws, it'll start to taste, and quite rightly so, dry. I'll start to taste that metallic-y sort of dry atomizer taste. Yeah, so now I'm you know, because I've been vaping it for a little bit anyway. I mean, as you can see, it's great. It's still got great vape production, just like a standard Titan. Don't get me wrong. But for some reason, just like all Titan cartridges and other cartridges I've had, it starts to dry out here, even though there's still plenty of juice in here. You know, there's still plenty of juice. And like what I do now is I sort of have to sort of flick it down, so I can sort of flick it down or hold it here and just sort of flick it like that, so that the juice is getting forced down towards the atomizer. I'm not sure if I can show you here on this camera. Not really, but I'm not sure if you can see that. But basically, if I flick it down, I can get it to pool. I can get a pool of juice on the top here. So obviously, there's plenty of juice left in the cartridge, but for some reason, the actual filler itself is not pushing the liquid towards the atomizer where it needs to be for a consistent vape. And in fact, I actually notice that it seems to dry out the metal wick faster than if I was direct dripping. So if I didn't have the cartridge in, or had no fluval in there, I could get between 5 and 8 really long draws before it was dry. Now I seem to only be able to get 4 or 5 as a max, and it seems to be because once this is dry, it seems to draw the moisture out of the actual metal wick into the cartridge. So it's actually being counterproductive. Another sort of downside I find for me personally, and this is just a personal thing, so it's not actually against the actual product itself as such, is because this barrel is so long to facilitate the extra cartridge. You can see it's, as I say, quite long. It means if you want a direct drip, it's so much harder to get it to hit the actual, and it has to drop further, so there's more splash. So trying to direct drip with one of these things is actually quite hard by comparison to a standard size atomizer. So basically, for someone who likes, like I said before, someone who likes carts already, this is an awesome improvement. Okay, someone who direct drips, it's a complete waste of time, because the only reason this is bigger is to facilitate the bigger cartridge, and by it being bigger, it actually makes it harder to direct drip. So it's sort of a waste of time for anyone who likes direct dripping. For those people sort of in the middle who were hoping, like me, myself, were hoping that this would fix all the problems with Titan cartridges, I think you're going to be disappointed, because it still in effect is using the same type of cartridge filler, and despite the fact you can sort of flick it down and without having to pull out a bottle and drip up, top up, you can still get more vape. You still need to pull off the atomizer and flick it around and try and get that juice to come down. So I think you're going to be disappointed in that respect, because it still has that problem. And the problem is not the atomizer. The problem is not the size of the cartridge. The problem is the type of fluval that's in here. It's like if you take it out and it's dry, it's like a fluffy sort of nylon-y sort of cotton material. I'm not sure exactly what, other than calling it fluval. There are better products out there. People are selling better products. People have made modifications to their carts by adding little, like coffee stirrer straws and all sorts of things to make the carts better. The fact that other people, amateurs, can make a standard cart wick that metal mesh better than the actual manufacturer just sort of boggles the mind, you know, yes, you've increased the capacity, but you haven't done anything about the real problem, which is the actual inside, the fluval itself. If you were to fix, the manufacturers, not totally wicked, but the actual manufacturers of all cartridges, if they were to fix the fluval problem, I don't think you'd really need a mega cartridge, or it would actually make mega cartridges even better for everyone, not just people who already like cartridges. Anyway, so as I say, it's a sort of a thumbs up and a thumbs down at the same time. So it's good for some people, but it's not going to be good for others. So anyway, so you make up your own mind as to what you would like to do. Thanks for watching.